Hi guys, welcome back to another timeless reading. This is recorded on Saturday, December the 21st. And later in the evening, we had a big snowstorm here, so clearing out everything. So this is a real in-depth one, the Enchanted Forest. I love this deck. I've been seeing this a lot in my mind's eye to pull from this one. You know, I saw it when I was coming downstairs. I was gonna cook food for my son, so you probably hear the beeping in the background, but I love the owls that we're getting here. As soon as I came to the deck, on the back, you see the owl there. I believe they're on the, owls are on the back. So this is a real beautiful deck. Once upon a time, I did have some in my life that was very generous with tarot decks with me, so I really appreciate that. So, I've cherished these decks. I really feel like they're in depth, and she would follow her intuition which ones I would like, so I really like that. I love that we're getting a lot of vision. So if you follow my account, you will see that there's that third eye post, and it's one thing that always resonates with me, especially after Shane had passed, I went more to my faith. And this is not to tell anyone you have to follow what I follow or believe what I believe in. Whatever resonates with you. Keither on Big Brother said it the best. We're all trying to find our way to God. You know what I mean? You call them different names, or maybe you don't believe in something. You believe in science. You believe in your higher self. Whatever you believe in. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm very open-minded. Not to say that they're wrong. Some people are like, I don't, and it's like, well, you haven't experienced things, or you just don't see it. You know what I mean? It's like those that could see, let them see. Those that could hear, let them hear. And I will definitely say I am one person that have seen and hear since I was a child, because I went through a situation, from 2 till 13, and it's just you can see the hand of, Yahweh Yeshua in my life. I would blame them because I'm like, why isn't this situation changing? I am praying to you, it's not changing, I blame them. And it's like, we're all given the free will on earth. I definitely feel like hell on earth. I feel like earth is hell in a lot of ways, Remember who has domain over here. I don't dare speak his name because he don't deserve my breath. You know what I mean? So it's just I feel like we were talking about this when I started pulling again after we had moved, and it was a crazy transition. We moved during retrograde, good golly. But it was coming back to it, it was just I lost my train of thought there, but, I was definitely pulled towards this. Unfortunately, with my dad, I would see my dad, you know what I mean? Actually seeing your loved ones, but it's just you're kind of in shock, right? Because, they have transitioned, they have transformed into their, true self, and it's just, you know what I mean? To wrap your head around that. Only reason, why I mentioned that is just because, I know a lot of people, unfortunately, have had, some passings during retrograde, which, my heart goes out to you, thoughts and prayers to you and the whole family. But I love the fact that it's 6 of Vision. I have had this deck for a while. I've never gotten the Sun card. I love that, We're getting a lot of amazing cards from this. So we're starting off with the 6 of Vision. I love the wonderment. She's reading a storybook. We have the owl there. I love the fact that it's I feel like grounding energy, because they're on a little stream here, but they're in a boat, so I feel like wood grounding. She's got the tree, we definitely get the tree of life. We're heading into the most wondrous time of the year, which is Christmas for some, Hanukkah for others, Kwanzaa for others. So I feel like it's just when we get into these definitions, I'm not going to go full bore with them, but you know what I mean? I know some people, have attention spans of very short, but, comes to here for a secret spot by the river. And I feel like this is your place that you feel comfortable with. And I feel like this is where they say that. They're where you feel most comfortable and free. And that for me is outside. You know what I mean? That's why I don't mind snow removal so much. Emily Sky, she's a great fitness and influencer, and life, she shows the reality of being pregnant, having a child, and being postpartum, and transforming your body back. It is possible. It does take time. It's not where you see where some people go get mommy makeovers, which is fine. You want to do that, that is your choice. But I feel like your body can naturally heal the way that it's supposed to if you do the right things. You will slip up. You will, be like, especially if you don't have help with baby, and, baby's a little bit difficult with gas and colic and stuff like that. And it's like, me, I really jumped back into it after I had Junior, and my appendix went. So they're like, you should have waited longer before you started working out. And I'm like, well, my doctor said I was fine. And they're just like, well, you should have waited longer. I'm like, well, how was I supposed to know, right? But I also had seen, it's like, oh, the most fiber that you'll find in pears and apples is the core. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense. If that's where the most fiber is and you're supposed to eat it, right? And I ended up they're like, your appendix was full of seeds. I'm like, yeah, kind of makes sense, right? But I feel like that's what the Six of Boons is. It's like where your wonderment is. I love, like, this is a major message. It's like, some of us are lucky enough to have, 2 weeks off. You have the next week and the week following up to New Year's. You know what I mean? So I don't know when the kids go back because we homeschool. We kind of do our own thing. But the kids are, like, officially on break now. Like the other kids, they stayed longer this year. Because we usually start on January 1st back to school. So this time we were like, you know what? No worries. We'll start next week and the week after, and, give us some time, like, all of us to do things. And I feel like that's what they're saying. Find things that ground you, that give you that wonderment. Because, wintertime for some people don't have to shovel snow and get in the fresh air or like walking in the cold air. That's totally fine. Or wherever you are. It's just like, but with the shorter night, if you are going through, the winter solstice, I completely forgot today's was the winter solstice. It's like, keep in mind, like, this is a time of rest. Like, whomever you believe in, I believe in Yeshua, Yahweh Yeshua. So it's like, the animals are resting. So it's like, rest, sleep. Especially the year we went through, it's like time to rest and sleep, So these hours are the foundation of our lifetime ideals are about happiness. So we were talking about that. When we grow up, we're expected to put away childish things. And you hear that a lot, put away childish things. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like, with myself, it's like I see myself, doing interviews and doing readings in certain, like I've seen in my mind's eye, I've had dreams about it, you know what I mean? I love the fact that I come across people's like For You page and all that good stuff. And it's like, you get validation of how you treat people. Like, some people are like, oh, it's a business. And I'm like, I understand that. But at the same time, I was watching Dog the Bounty Hunter. I have a smart TV, so they have like LG channels, and they have Dog the Bounty Hunter on 24/7. And he went against like what everybody else was saying. He's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I have to answer to God. And that's the thing that I feel like. It's like, people may be like, oh, you're kind of stupid for charging what you charge. You're kind of stupid for, you know what I mean, for doing what you do, questions and this, because you could be making more money. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror. And at the end of the day, I have to answer to God. That's the way that I see it. This is a God-given ability. I put my energy into this. So if you put your energy to me, like, I like tarot. I've always loved tarot cards. Thank God for astrology answers. You could go on their website, you could see the tarot definitions, and I would sit there and, like, even now, I'm lucky enough that this deck has, a wonderful book. So that's where I was just like, some of these, like I said, I've never pulled from the Sun card, so I was just like, I want to make sure that I get that definition because I've never read from it before. But that's what I'm saying. Sit there. Like, if you're drawn to get an Angel Oracle card, if you're drawn to get a tarot deck, these kind of ones, like these like specialty ones, you definitely want to invest the money. Like I always tell you guys, sit there, go on Amazon. They have great deals on tarot decks on holidays. So like, Black Friday is coming up. They're going to have Boxing Day and like New Year's and all that good stuff. Deals, because they want you to spend like your Christmas money. So I feel like it's just like, sit there. And if you want to sit, you don't have to do it every single day when you feel drawn to it. Or if you want to do like I did and you feel drawn to do this, you know what I mean? It's like, sit there and, start posting. Make yourself, come up with a name, like Golgotha in Darkness. That was my candle company, for the longest time, in custom jewelry. And I was just like, I love Golgotha in Darkness, and it has a biblical meaning. If anyone knows the mountain, or not the mountain, the hilltop of Golgotha, it's a place of a skull in darkness. You know what I mean? So it's just like, there's a meaning behind it. It's a biblical meaning. That's where I got Golgotha from, is from the Bible. So it's just like, sit there and start posting. Come up with a name that means something to you. You may change your name down the road. You never know. But, I like Golgotha and Darkness. I like skulls. I like all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, this is totally my essence. You know what I mean? So I feel like, if you want to sit there and you're not sure about the definitions, or, when I'm sitting there and I'm getting set up and it's like, they're playing Madonna again. Funny enough with Madonna, I really like Madonna's music. Some of it. It's like, don't second guess yourself. Put their love to the test. Like, don't be second best. You know what I mean? Don't be, someone's runner up. I feel like in a lot of ways it's like self-respect, self-love. It's like, if you show me who you are, I give you one chance. I used to give 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a million chances. Now it's like, you get one chance. I'm done. It's like, when people show me who they are, and it's like, I was pulling the tarot decks. I saw this one, and then I had my villains deck, the Disney villains, and I really wanted to pull from that one. I'm like, they're like, follow your intuition, follow your intuition, follow. I'm laughing my ass off. And I was just like, I put both decks side by side, and I was still drawn to the Forest of Enchantment, and that's the one I saw in my mind's eye to pull from. And that's what I do with readings. I sit there and I pull the decks that I'm drawn to. And then I sit there and I could have like 12 decks, and I'm like, I may pull from all of them. When I do readings, I pull for someone until the cards start repeating and repeating and repeating. I'm like, you're done. You heard everything you need to hear. You know what I mean? So, and we're talking about happiness. So maybe during your break time, this is what you get into. It's like finding where your happiness is. This card is a reminder that your child, the child you once were, is still a part of you. And it is. Your heart. What makes you happy? What was magic then is still magic today. So all you have to do is open your mind to it. Your old friends from books, your imagination are close at hand, waiting for you to come from the panic by the river. Funny enough, they're saying the panic by the river, and I felt very grounded with the river. But they have wonderful, they have elves, they have fairies, they have an owl, making a home in the tree. Very Winnie the Pooh. You know what I mean? I feel like Christopher Robin was definitely like this, finding the wonder of your childhood. Maybe they thought that he was weird, that he would take his stuffed animals into the forest and he made this wondrous land for himself. And it's like, well, you know what? He was happy. You know what I mean? That's all that matters at the end of the day. He was happy. He wasn't hurting nobody. I love the White Heart. This is one of my favorite cards. So this is 0, the Fool. You know what I mean? But it's like, follow your heart. You know what I mean? So it's like, put their love to the test, kind of thing. So maybe love is, we've been definitely getting a lot of that. I got a post of, I think it was Law of Attraction off of IG. And it said, when you are healed, then everything else will come. And I definitely feel like in my healing journey after Shane has transformed, you know what I mean? Sitting there, and it's like even getting closer to Yahweh Yeshua than I was before. But, being really open to receiving messages, being open to, you know what I mean? I feel like it's like following your heart. It doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. They're like, oh, I can't believe you're still single. And it's like, you do what you need to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do. You want to be with someone, you be with someone. But I feel like, and I've mentioned this before. I was talking to someone, and I was like, you know what? You're not healed. You're very broken, and they deserve better. They deserve better. They deserve to get who I 100% am. If I ever run into them and, they're single, I'm single, maybe we'll talk. Who knows? Maybe it would have never worked out. But it's like, at the same time, it's like they don't deserve to be the one that heals me. They deserve to have 100% of me. And I definitely feel like, when it's supposed to be in my life, it will be in my life. You know what I mean? But I definitely put my children, God is always number one. My children are right up there. You know what I mean? So it's just like, everybody is different, but that's the way that I do things. So deep in the forest stands the White Heart, and I love this. Follow your heart. Traditional name of this mysterious card is the number 0, the Fool, which symbolizes the start of a new adventure that is undertaken with a pure, intense, innocent heart. The pun is intentional. Follow your heart. A new beginning, accepting the invitation. Remember we had that before? They were saying being open to adventures. follow your instincts, you know? And I definitely, like, you know, with a certain situation, it's like they unfriended me. And I'm like, you know what? It's like I felt that this is something that needed to happen. And, you know, I let it go. And now they're like, oh, I want to be friends with them. I'm trying to contact them. Nope. Like I said, I'm not 1, 2, 300. No, I'm done. So the sun light. So this is the sun card. The piper comes to the gates of dawn. Me and my sons love sunrises and sunsets. The new day awakens. And I feel like this is where a lot of us, a new day is awakening. A new chapter, a new book. Something is brand new coming to awaken us. The hush of the night is broken by bird songs. First one tends to notes, then the other, the whole course of joy. Flowers open, and I feel like that's a lot of things you see. Like, I love feeding, like, the blue jays, and, like, you know, in when we lived in Ontario, cardinals were huge. And they reminded me of, I had cockatoos as a child, so I had Chippy was the male and Chipette was the girl, you know? And Chipette was very aggressive. Female birds are, oh my gosh, they're insane. If you're going to get a bird, get a male. They're very chill. But Chippy, we'd sit there and bathe him, and I would put him in a towel, I would wrap him up, and I would pet his head, and he would just sleep there. He was such a sweet bird, you know? The female one, oh my god, so aggressive. So, when the sun light blesses your reading, be ready to receive good fortune. And I feel like when the Ace of Boons came out, literally, like, it's like, there is this ring I was drawn to, and I was just like, I was just drawn to it, and Topaz is Shane's and my dad's birthstone. Unfortunately, both of them have transformed. So I've been drawn to Topaz. I am known to wear, like, earrings that are, like, you know, like with the birthstones. And it's not just mine. It's, like, my children, my dad, Shane and my dad are the same birthstone, like I was saying. Like, you know, people that are significant to me, I tend to wear their birthstones in my ears. So, the most positive card in the whole tarot. So this is the sun card. Like, success, like, sunflowers surround you, success will surround you. But I love this, and like I said, I've had this deck for a while and I haven't pulled from it. Challenges will be overcome. Bright visions will come to pass. Spells will succeed. And the boons of all, the boons, that's the Ace of Boons, love that, of all kinds are yours for the taking. Remember to be grateful. And that's the biggest thing. Like, my son has very much humbled me again, where it's just like, you know, the things that we are enjoying now is the things that we were prayed for. You know, I would sit there and I would see shooting stars and I would ask for these things, and we're living in that, you know what I mean? And like, going back to when I was healing from Shane, it's like, God knew that, like, you know, I needed structure. So, like, you know, I was done making, you know, it was August, so we did the harvesting, and, you know, we're putting everything away for winter, and, you know, it's just like, you know, I was just like, I'm gonna babysit. You know, I feel like I could babysit, like, you know, gives my kids friends to play with because they're homeschooled, and you know what I mean? It's just like, I could take care of the kids, I can homeschool my kids, it gives me structure, it gives me a purpose, and it brings an income. And for me, that was great. Like, we would sit there and I'm like, let's go play red light, green light. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's do crafts. Let's do, you know, that we watch the Wiggles. Let's do sing-alongs. And then, you know, the kids are doing school, and then, you know, she's like, can I do it? I'm like, sure, why not? Like, you know, Michael was the same way. Can I do school? Sure. You know? And I asked the mom, I'm like, are you cool with that? And she's like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, all right. You know, she wants to do it, let's do it. So, you know, I feel like the things that are, and I love that, like, when you are healed, when Yahweh Yeshua knows what I can handle, because I did talk to someone, you know, didn't go very far, but I felt very guilty. I was just like, you know, how am I talking to this person when my heart is still with Shane? You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, my heart will always be with Shane, because that's something that it was never a choice. It's just something that happened. So I feel like when things are supposed to be in your life, they will appear. And you know what I mean? It very much resonated with me. Happiness, well-being, growth, a warmth of glow to life. Things are better than you know. That's the thing. Like, they're always doing things in the background, and we have no idea, like, what's coming down the road, you know? You sit there and do a good deed, it's not because you're like, oh, I will get something back in return. You know what I mean? I always know that, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen, but I always know with Yahweh Yeshua, it's just like, you know, I sit there and it's just like, there was like Christmas daddies, and I'm like, the way that I have been taught. I remember we were at the apartment with Shane and I saw something, and I believe he was a Jewish man. I'm not even kidding you. Not everyone will agree with what I say, but it's like, when you sit there and donate, you should not have a benefit from it. So like tax write-offs and all this stuff. And they always ask me that when I do my taxes. They're like, you didn't give to charities? I'm like, I do. I said, but my belief system is that you should not benefit from it. So I donated Christmas daddies and I got tickets. And I'm like, well, I'm going to also go on their actual page and make a donation as well, because I got tickets for the draw. So again, they were saying, follow your intuition. Like, oh my gosh, that's going to live in my head for the rest of the day. But I thought that was really cute. So when we see unicorns, touching on these blessings, living in wonderment, doing things that make you happy. Like, literally last night I was doing Shabbat and I have a shawl. And my dad's like, you have a blanket on your back, because my back gets cold and I get a chill. And he's like, you're wearing a blanket on your back. He goes, go put on your shawl. And he was upset with me. And I'm like, yes, yes, sir, go put on my shawl, right? And it's just like out of respect, and it has a prayer that goes across your head, like the shawl, like where the shawl sits, like you can see how you put it on, and it has this beautiful prayer over it. And it's the same color as the sari that my grandmother is wearing in her photograph that I have on my wall unit. And it was just like, what I mean? That's why I bought that color. And my dad was just like, go put your shawl on. I'm like, yes, sir. Because he's usually jokey and stuff, right? But it's like that. I'm like, oh, damn. I've never had my dad be so stern with me. But this card offers a vision of familial happiness, which can be a course of combination of people, not just two parents and a child. What matters is a commitment to each other in unity and harmony. And that's the way that me and my kids live our life. It's not about, I love the cherry blossoms in there too. It's like, it doesn't matter what the family unit looks like. It's like, as long as we're happy and we're at peace, that's all that matters. That's all that matters to us at the day. That's all I want, is happy and peace. If that doesn't seem to apply to your question, think about what brings you lasting bliss. Lasting bliss. They're like, they're right beside each other. It's like they're told, oh, put childish things away. It's like, if you enjoy it, you guys could see, like, I have the skeleton there and a namaste, one's meditating. My mom bought me this gnome like so many Christmases ago, and she's like, oh, you could, take it out at Christmas. He's out all year round. I can't remember what Michael named him. I have to start putting these names on the bottom of these guys. You know what I mean? Because we have a gnome in the basement I haven't taken out since Barty Bog, but because I was worried about it getting broken, because our neighbors are butthoods. But you know what I mean? It's like, do things that make you happy. Like, at the end of the day, this is what this experience is about. Do things that make you happy. The unicorns offer their magic to help you recognize your most beautiful visions. And that's the thing. It's just like, we see a vision and people are like, oh, you'll never get there. And it's like, you don't know that. We were just talking about that. You don't have no idea what's coming down the pipeline. So if you see yourself doing this, and I tell my kids all that all the time. Like, I tell my son, I'm like, look at Norman Reedus. He started as a model. He went into acting, movies, TV series. He sat there and directed a music video. He's a photographer. Like, he wears so many different hats. And that's the great thing about our family, is that Shane and myself both have so many hats that we wear. And I'm like, I can only imagine what these boys are going to accomplish. You know what I mean? And I'm going to just like, start now, build up your audience, build up your skills and everything like that, and let's see where it takes you. You know what I mean? It's just like, encourage them. You see them thriving at something, it's like, you should keep with that because you're really good at it. True bliss, gratitude for blessings. And I was touching on this and then I just went on to something else, but my son is like, Mom, don't forget to thank God for the food. Don't forget to thank God for the blessings to pay for the bills, for you still having a job. And you know what I mean? Because once upon a time, it's just like, when I was offered this, readings were like 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. You know what I mean? And I made the choice because I was like, this is a steady income. This is a paycheck every 2 weeks. This has benefits. Like, this is what we need. You know what I mean? I put our family needs first. And I still get readings. I still do polls whenever I can. You know what I mean? So it's just like, this part will fall into place when it's supposed to fall in place. You know what I mean? And I keep seeing knockings of that. You know what I mean? And when I get to the place where it's just like, that will be my full-time gig, and that's by God's beautiful grace and blessings. You know what I mean? What you pray for, it's like, you know what I mean? And my son teaches me that. I don't like to think about when that day that Shane passed. We talk about it sometimes, but it's just like what happened there and to where we are now, night and day. You know what I mean? It's like what I didn't believe in myself, and I thought I was going to have a freaking breakdown because that's how I felt. But God never lets me break by His grace, By Yahweh Yeshua's grace. I have not broken. I don't want to break, It may feel like crud, but I keep trying. A close, happy family. Soulful joy, At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Soulful joy. So we keep getting, this is the wise woman. We keep getting the priestess, the high priestess. So we're heading into the waning crescent, heading into like a new moon, right? So, again, practicing, we were talking about this earlier, practicing, if tarot makes you happy, if that's your place of bliss, what they're showing with the sun card, a new adventure, the wise woman is doing that. I've seen some people do this, and I follow one of them on TikTok, where she actually has charms and bones and stuff like that. And she's just phenomenal, And I feel like this is where it's just like, be patient. You're in a seated position. Yes, some people around you are in certain positions and have the things that you want in life, but you know what? It's like your time will come and you will enjoy those same things. Even if it never happens, it's fine. That wasn't meant to be a part of your life. Confirms that there is a core of deep knowing within you. You may need spiritual guidance to access it. Wisdom takes time. Devotion, patience above all. And this takes the same thing. It's just like with my Torah, just like I have books that I keep reading this one that I wrote with the first couple of years after Shane had passed. And I keep going back, and I am so thankful when I'm able to read that, and it just speaks to me. It's like, especially it's like, those that can hear, let them hear. Those that can see, let them see. And it was 2017, 2018, heading into 2018, I'm like, I no longer want to live like this. I think, no, it was heading into 2019. I no longer want to be sad. I'm still sad sometimes. It still comes to me. You know what I mean? Especially this year, it was the 7th year that he's been passed. We're heading into the 8th. And it's just you still feel I feel like because, we're live in a house, you know what I mean? And we're secure and we're comfortable and everything like that. And it's just you know what I mean? Feeling what I couldn't feel, because we were packing up the whole house, donations, rehoming our fur babies because we couldn't find a place that would accept pets. And I have to put my kids first. My kids need a roof over their heads. And unfortunately that was, a negative downfall of that. And people were saying they were deathly allergic to things, But funny enough, they have, how many cats around them. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let go, let God. He heard and saw that too. That's another thing. When people wrong you, you just remind yourself, whoever you believe in, it's like they saw it too. You know what I mean? Don't wish any ill on anyone. You keep doing what you're doing. Willingness to accept and commit to the path you choose. The wise woman doesn't argue with oracles, and neither should you. Just read the signs. They are everywhere. And I keep posting that, you know what I mean? Ladybugs and dragonflies and all that good stuff. Wisdom, spirituality, and magicism. So we are talking about magic here. A lot of magic. A lot of people will sit there, I recently got that. It kind of bothered me, but, I posted something and they're like, quit scamming people. And I'm like, scamming people? Who am I scamming? I'm like, I don't even know you. I've never read for you. I've never read it for anyone in your family. And I go to click on their profile and it's like, oh, you can't click on this. And I'm like, why not? You say that I'm something that I'm not. How have I scammed you? And I know I don't scam people. Because I've had people I've read for since the beginning. And I offer certain things to people that regularly come to me. And they know that. So it's like, I do not scam people. I do not scam people. I'm very forthcoming. You may want to hear from X, Y, and Z. I do not guarantee those people will come through. And I will be really honest with you. Even when I don't want to be honest, I'm like, they have to know this. Like, that's my job. The reason why they're using me as a vessel is to relay this message. Some of them are harder than others. And it's, So Ace of Boons, look at this ring. Mine's coming. Literally looks like this. So, whoops. He hopped off the table. So the enchanted ally of boons is the toad. So the toad in some cultures is seen as very good luck. First things first, never confuse a toad with a frog. It often, and funny enough, someone that I love, Min Lovely. I can't remember I think it's I love Min. She's Vietnamese. She has Blasian children. Mr. Stretch is her long time, I would say, husband. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I love her energy. She does nails and all that. Like, I cannot find anyone that probably would not love her. You know what I mean? She shows you a lot of hot spots. I love the fact that she shows cooking, because some of the stuff, like, especially Umon noodles, UMO, I believe it's spelled. The thick, I think it's a rice noodle. Oh my god, I've been looking for that noodle everywhere. I always get the thin, like Mr. Noodle, or the thin ramen noodles. I'm like, no, the thick noodle. And they're like, what the hell is a thick noodle? I'm like, it's a rice noodle, But she had frog rings. She had got them from Vietnam. She had got her son a chain for his birthday. She got some, bracelets and stuff for her daughter. But it's just like, I saw rings and I'm like, I really like that. And I was watching TikTok and I saw this lady selling some stuff and I'm like, I'll take that one out. And they were like $3. I was like, that's a steal. So it offers them, so confused with the toad, it often offends them both. You definitely want to stay on the toad's good side, for he is a luck magnet. So we're getting a lot of luck here. He hopped off the table. He's on the ground. If I grab him, I'll probably drop him, or drop you guys. So his specialties are healing and prosperity, but he is helping with any kinds of manifestations you may need. So right now, a lot of us are getting into like vision boards. You know what I mean? Like, what do we want for this year? For us, we celebrated the Jewish New Year in October. I still signify, as we go to like January, like I just follow what I feel, like follow your intuition. I'm gonna start singing that song again, but it's just like I feel like the Chinese Lunar New Year is like bang on with the actual year. I feel like January, it's like kind of getting back, like we celebrate Christmas, coming back, getting back into like the rhythm of things, and then like February, it's like kind of like we're starting the year then. You know what I mean? I feel like that is the new year, So you follow your intuition, what you feel. But remember, there are supposed to be 13 months in a year. It's supposed to be 28 months in a year. In a month, not in a year. This is the... Okay. The toad's gift to you is a toadstool ring. Toadstool rings are not the most attractive, perhaps, but their power is legendary. I actually looked for one and I couldn't find one, but I'm going to take a look again. A toadstone. Ooh, maybe that's why I couldn't find it. Is an all purposes atoned with changing color in the presence of any poison. Toadstone rings also protect against curses and other supernatural mischief. So like a third eye, I have a third eye necklace. You may have a third eye ring or earrings. So prosperity, healing, luck, potential application of magic, earthly elements. So going back, I felt a strong earth element here with the trees, tree of life. You know what I mean? In the Jewish calendar, there is the celebration of trees, like their birthday, kind of changing another year. You know what I mean? But it's also like I did this last year. It's like it's more to that. I never celebrated that high holiday before. and the actual, like, you know, knowing what the definition and stuff was until last year. So I made a tree on my vision board last year, and I, like, you know, where the branches are and sprouting of fruits and all that good stuff. It's like I wrote what I wanted. You know, it was very different from previous years. So I'm probably going to do that again this year. You know what I mean? But I feel like these are the things we want to succeed in. These are the things that we want. The things that, you know, we want to see our life coming to. And I get, like, pictures and stuff like that. Anything, like, you know, I want to travel and take the kids all around the world and do all these wonderful things. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, put everything and anything that your heart desires on there. I want to have, like, I follow, like, the Useless Farm. I follow Katie Van Sky. She's on Facebook. She's huge on TikTok. Her Facebook has like 3 million followers. So, you know what I mean? To see like Petey and all the goatees and all that good stuff. It's like, you know, I don't know if I would be full bore with, because I'm afraid of horses. I tried to pet one time and he just like turned away from me. I'm like, oh, they don't like me. So maybe mini horses, but, you know, just sit there and, you know, go towards these things that you want and put everything and anything on there. You want to manifest love? Manifest love. You want to manifest, like, you know, your life changing? You know what I mean? But we got to remember, we got to work for it too. You know what I mean? We can't just sit there and put these things out there and lay in bed and put the covers over our head and it's just like, you know, I want my life to change this way. We got to put action into those things. We got to sit there and believe in our heart of hearts as like, this is what, you know, I am blessed with. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we feel like we're not worthy of the blessings we get, you know? And I'm very thankful. I will sit there and I have some eeky creaky knees. I will sit there and I will put pillows and I will just be very thankful. They call it prostrating yourself. You know what I mean? Where you sit there and you get yourself in the most humble, vulnerable, I guess, position. A lot of people lay themselves on the floor. I would do that, but I probably wouldn't be able to get back up, you know? So it's just like, sit there and just be thankful for everything and anything. Like, you know what I mean? Some things people think that it's trivial. They just expect those things. And it's just like, myself, knowing the fact that someone that I loved and I was like, have a great day, I love you. You know, his last words to me was, make sure no one eats my lasagna. Famous last words, you know? And he went off to work. But he knew that he was loved. You know, we made plans for that evening. We made plans for next weekend. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, just being thankful for everything and anything that you love in this life. And I feel like that, you know, when they're touching on the family card with the unicorn, it's like, surround yourself with people that deserve your love. Surround yourself with people that sit there and put you first, that are genuinely care about your happiness, that add to your happiness. Those are the people you should surround yourself with. The people that make you laugh, like belly laugh and stuff, you know? Sit there and surround yourself with that good love, you know? So may the universe bless you good. I don't know how many card pulls I'm going to do during this time because, like, you know, Hanukkah starts on Wednesday. Saturday, you know, I'll have to see, like, we're doing a celebration together. So it'll just, you know what I mean? That's why I always say do timeless readings, because I don't know when I'm going to post again. So, you know what I mean? I'll try and do my very best. So, you know, if I don't see you guys, happy holidays, no matter what you're celebrating, to all of you. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next timeless pull.